Welcome back to Crypto Equation, and today we dive into a topic that has captured the imagination of the entire XRP community. A topic that feels simple on the surface, but becomes more profound. The deeper you look, the idea that owning 3,000 XRP will matter far more than most people currently realize. This is not about predictions. It is not about dreams. It is not about hype. It is about understanding the world that is being built beneath the surface of global finance and recognizing why a seemingly small digital position carries far more weight than anyone outside this space understands. Because when you hear the words 3,000 XRP, what you are hearing is not a number. You are hearing a threshold, a psychological anchor, a position inside a global transformation, a symbol of your presence within a financial world that is evolving so rapidly most people do not even know it is happening. And to understand why 3,000 XRP matters, we must peel back the layers of the global system we live in today and look at the structure that is quietly being replaced. The financial world we grew up with is disappearing, and most people have not noticed. The settlement systems running global money flows are decades old. They were built for a different era, an era without smartphones, without digital wallets, without tokenization, without artificial intelligence, without 24-hour global commerce, without integrated digital identity, without real-time cross-border markets. These systems were not built to support the digital world we live in today, and they are collapsing under the weight of modern demand. The world has reached a breaking point. The old rails cannot carry the new economy, and this is where 3,000 XRP becomes more than a number, because XRP was engineered for the world that is replacing the old one, the world of instant settlement, the world of global interoperability, the world of mobile liquidity, the world of automated commerce, the world of tokenized assets, the world of seamless cross-border value movement, the world of intelligent financial messaging, the world of digital currencies and digital identity integration. This transformation is not a theory. It is not speculation. It is happening in real time. Institutions are upgrading their rails. Governments are designing digital currency frameworks. Corporations are adopting real-time payment systems. And entire regions are synchronizing their financial infrastructures for the first time in decades. Now let us connect this global transformation to the meaning of owning 3,000 XRP, because the connection is deeper than most realize. 3,000 XRP represents participation in the new settlement architecture of the world. Whether or not you ever use it, whether or not you ever move it, whether or not you ever convert it, the asset itself represents your alignment with the future rails that global value will move on. To understand why 3,000 XRP matters, we must explore the architecture of settlement. Old settlement is static, slow, and expensive. New settlement is dynamic, instant, and efficient. Old settlement requires intermediaries and manual reconciliation. New settlement operates on trusted infrastructure, not trusted intermediaries. Old settlement traps liquidity. New settlement moves liquidity freely. Old settlement breaks during global volatility. New settlement adapts to global volatility. XRP was built for the new model, and owning 3,000 XRP symbolizes your position inside this new model. Now let us explore one of the most misunderstood truths about digital assets, the difference between price and relevance. The price of XRP today is a reflection of a speculative market that does not yet understand the future architecture of global finance. The relevance of XRP today is a reflection of the systems it was built for, and those systems are now being activated. When people ask why 3,000 XRP matters, they are unknowingly asking why relevance matters more than price. Because when global infrastructure integrates digital settlement, Rails relevance becomes value. Relevance becomes demand. Relevance becomes positioning. Relevance becomes alignment with the future. 3,000 XRP is a foothold in that relevance. Now let us go deeper into the psychological side of the threshold, because numbers like 1,000 XRP, 3,000 XRP, and 10,000 XRP have become symbolic within the community. They are not mathematically derived. They are emotionally derived. They are not financial calculations. They are identity markers. 3,000 XRP feels complete. It feels like a position. It feels like a seat at the table in a world that is transforming. And that feeling matters because humans do not connect to financial systems through charts. They connect through narratives and meaning. 3,000 XRP becomes meaningful because it represents being early to a shift most people have not recognized, being early to a technology designed for real-time settlement, being early to a global transformation that will redefine money movement, being early to the rails the world will eventually depend on. Now let us look at the broader historical context. Every major technological shift in history has followed the same pattern. At first, the world ignores it. then the world doubts it, then the world attacks it, then the world tests it, then the world adopts it, and finally the world depends on it. XRP is in the final stages of this cycle, the stage where testing turns into implementation, and implementation turns into quiet integration. Owning 3,000 XRP means you understood the shift before the adoption stage. Now let us explore the structural forces that make XRP increasingly relevant every year. The first structural force is global modernization. Payment rails across the world are being upgraded simultaneously, a rare event in global finance. These upgrades require settlement assets that operate at the speed of data. The second structural force is tokenization. Everything of value is being tokenized: assets, contracts, identity, financial instruments, and supply chain documentation. Tokenized assets require settlement assets that can move globally and instantly. The third structural force is digital currency infrastructure. Central banks and governments are moving toward digital currencies that require cross-border interoperability. XRP fits directly into this requirement. The fourth structural force is real-time commerce. As the world accelerates, settlement must accelerate with it. XRP was built for real-time markets. The fifth structural force is liquidity mobility. Instead of trapping liquidity in accounts, worldwide institutions will use on-demand liquidity models. XRP represents on-demand liquidity. 3,000 XRP matters because it gives you a personal stake in these structural transformations. Now let us explore why the number 3,000 specifically feels significant. The psychology behind it lies in three factors: the accessibility of the amount, the symbolic completeness of the amount, and the narrative alignment with the future. 3,000 is reachable for many, yet large enough to feel meaningful. It is not extreme. It is not unrealistic. It is balanced. It feels like a position chosen with intention, not desperation. Now let us examine the emotional depth behind the belief that 3,000 XRP could matter more than people think. People sense something shifting in the world. They sense the old system fading. They sense new rails emerging. They sense institutions silently preparing. They sense data flowing in new ways. They sense technology replacing outdated processes. They sense that the financial world is aligning with the digital world. This intuition is powerful. It is not based on charts, it is based on awareness. 3,000 XRP becomes meaningful because it represents alignment with this awareness. Now let us address one of the deepest truths in this entire conversation. 3,000 XRP is not about becoming wealthy. It is about becoming positioned. It is about placing yourself inside a system that will redefine global value movement. And 3,000 XRP gives you that sense of position. Now let us zoom into the most overlooked aspect of all: timing. Timing is not about buying low and selling high. Timing is about understanding the trajectory of global systems. The old system is collapsing slowly but surely. The new system is forming rapidly but quietly. Owning 3,000 XRP means you saw the direction before the majority did. Now let us uncover the future reality. In the coming world, value will move instantly. Borders will lose financial relevance. Liquidity will be sourced dynamically. Payments will be automated by AI. Tokenized assets will dominate markets. Interoperable systems will become standard. And real-time settlement will be mandatory. This is the world 3,000 XRP places you inside. In part 2, we will explore even deeper layers: the psychological evolution of holders, the global rails that will require instant settlement, the symbolism behind being early, the shift from speculation to infrastructure, and the ultimate reason 3,000 XRP matters far more than anyone realizes today. Because now that we have peeled back the structure, psychology, and global transformation behind the meaning of holding 3,000 XRP, we must go even deeper into the forces shaping the future. Because the reason this number matters is not tied to price, it is tied to positioning. 3,000 XRP matters because of where the world is going, not because of where the market has been. Once you understand this, you begin to see why so many long-term holders feel an unusual sense of confidence. They are not relying on speculation. They are relying on alignment with the future. To understand the true significance of 3,000 XRP, we must explore the evolution of global settlement networks. The financial system is shifting from a world of delayed settlement to a world of instant settlement. This shift is not cosmetic. It is structural. And when systems shift structurally, assets designed for those structures gain relevance automatically. The first major shift is the end of trapped liquidity. Old financial rails force institutions to pre-fund accounts around the world to support international transactions. This system freezes trillions of dollars in dormant liquidity. In the new world, liquidity will no longer be trapped. It will move instantly on demand. XRP is one of the few assets designed to unlock that liquidity. 3,000 XRP represents exposure to a world where liquidity becomes mobile and settlement becomes instantaneous. The second major shift is interoperability. Today, financial systems struggle to communicate with each other. Each network is isolated. Each bank operates on its own rails. Each region uses different messaging formats. Interoperability is becoming mandatory because the digital economy cannot function on disconnected systems. XRP sits at the intersection of these networks, enabling value to move across platforms in real time. 3,000 XRP represents your connection to a future where interoperability is the default. The third major shift is tokenization. Everything from real estate to securities to supply chain documents is becoming tokenized. Tokenized assets do not settle on slow rails. They require instant settlement. XRP was engineered for tokenized settlement. 3,000 XRP represents early exposure to the system that will support the tokenized economy. The fourth major shift is global digital identity. Payments will soon be integrated with identity frameworks, enabling frictionless financial access across borders. This transition requires networks that move value instantly and securely. XRP's consensus model and settlement speed align with this shift. 3,000 XRP represents your alignment with systems built for identity-integrated value movement. Now let us move into one of the most important layers, the psychological evolution of holders. When someone holds XRP long enough, their perspective changes. They stop thinking about price and start thinking about relevance. They stop focusing on volatility and start focusing on infrastructure. They stop stressing about timing and start understanding trajectory. 3,000 XRP becomes meaningful once you understand the world being built around it. Now let us explore the identity pillar. Owning 3,000 XRP becomes part of your identity in the digital financial structure. It reflects your recognition of the modernization happening beneath the surface. It reflects your belief in a more efficient global financial system. It reflects your awareness of what institutions and governments are quietly building. 3,000 XRP is not a gamble. It is a position inside a global shift. Now let us explore how the meaning of 3,000 XRP changes as the global system advances. In the early days of digital assets, 3,000 XRP was seen as a speculative bet. It had no connection to real-world utility. It had no institutional adoption. It had no global framework supporting it. But today, everything has changed. The world is building settlement systems that make XRP relevant, even if nobody realizes it yet. This is why 3,000 XRP matters more now than it ever did. As modernization continues, 3,000 XRP becomes symbolic of early alignment with the future. Now let us examine the difference between external perception and internal knowledge. Externally, XRP is seen as a digital asset with volatility, uncertainty, and controversy. Internally, XRP is seen as a critical structural component of the future financial internet. 3,000 XRP gives you access to that internal perspective. Now let us explore a crucial truth: the world does not reward those who act after a transformation happens. The world rewards those who position themselves before the transformation completes. 3,000 XRP is meaningful because it represents positioning before the world transitions. This is the difference between being part of the future and chasing it. Now let us examine the psychological journey of long-term holders. Every long-term holder goes through several phases: awareness accumulation, conviction, understanding alignment, and identity. Awareness is when you first discover XRP. Accumulation is when you begin building your position. Conviction is when you recognize global patterns. Understanding is when you see XRP's purpose clearly. Alignment is when you understand the future rails of global finance. Identity is when you realize you hold a piece of the future system. 3,000 XRP is where most people begin to feel identity alignment. It is the moment the position feels real. Now let us explore the momentum of global adoption. Because the more you observe the world, the more you realize the shift is not coming. It is already underway. Every major payment network is upgrading. Every financial messaging system is modernizing. Every institution is testing real-time rails. Every global regulator is building digital frameworks. The world is not preparing for the digital economy. The world is already inside it. This is why 3,000 XRP matters. Because in a digital world, assets built for digital settlement gain structural relevance regardless of market noise. Now let us explore liquidity demand. Liquidity is the oxygen of the global financial system. In a real-time world, liquidity must always be available instantly. XRP is one of the assets that can act as instant liquidity because it moves without intermediaries. 3,000 XRP connects you to that future liquidity structure. Now let us explore the societal shift, because the meaning of wealth itself is changing. Wealth used to be defined by accumulation of physical assets. Then it was defined by accumulation of financial assets. Now wealth is being redefined as access to digital networks that enable instant opportunity. 3000 XRP is part of that shift. It represents access to future digital financial networks. Now let us uncover the core truth behind this entire video. 3000 XRP matters because of the system XRP was built for, not because of what the market thinks today. The market price is speculation. The future price is purpose. The market price is emotion. The future price is infrastructure. The market price is uncertainty. The future price is utility. Owning 3000 XRP is owning a piece of the future before the world fully understands it. Now let us explore the final layer, the symbolic meaning. Why does this number resonate so deeply? Why do so many people gravitate toward it? Why does it feel complete? Why does it feel intentional? Why does it feel powerful? Because 3000 XRP represents the intersection of belief and understanding. It represents a position early enough to matter and structured enough to carry meaning. It represents a balance between accessibility and alignment. It represents the moment someone decides to stand inside the future rather than outside it. 3000 XRP is not about becoming wealthy. 3000 XRP is about being positioned. Positioned inside the new global rails. Positioned inside the financial internet. Positioned inside the world of instant settlement. Positioned inside the era of digital liquidity. Positioned inside the future economy. And that is why 3000 XRP will matter far more than most people think. Interoperable systems will become standard, and real-time settlement will be mandatory. This is the world 3000 XRP places you inside. In part 2, we will explore even deeper layers, the psychological evolution of holders, the global rails that will require instant settlement, the symbolism behind being early, the shift from speculation to infrastructure, and the ultimate reason 3000 XRP matters far more than anyone realizes today.